Alright, so I'm Ronnie, otherwise known as Man Is Music, and this is going to be the start of a string of uploads that I'm going to try and do within the next couple of months, at least until school comes back around full time. This video in particular is going to be my recent jazz vinyl finds, which I haven't done in about 7 or 8 months, I think, but there's a few other uploads I want to try and get out, like how I've gotten through the tinnitus stuff, although I'm not entirely through it, but how I kind of relieve some of the stress and all that sort of stuff, because throughout the past month, maybe the past couple weeks, I've got popping in my right ear now, and my left ear is my bad ear. It's got like the loudest ringing, even though I got ringing in both ears, but my right ear has popping now, but it's kind of not like, it's not like a all throughout the day thing. It's more of like episodes, maybe like an hour or two, my ear's popping. So that's kind of thrown me off, but I haven't let it get to me mentally, really, but I guess I want to do a video talking about how I get through the tinnitus, and then also give advice and stuff like that, because I know some people have reached out to me concerning, how I've gotten through it, and then also a lot of people check in, which I really appreciate, and I know I should be communicating more with everybody throughout the community, but I guess I'm just not on social media that much, but I'm also not, I'm not like an outgoing person, I guess. I don't reach out to people that much, even though it's something that I want to do. I think it's just that I'm kind of coming out of my shell. I was already out of it, but then I kind of got sent back into it. So now I'm kind of coming out of my shell. And with that, I do want to put more YouTube videos up, be more social in the community, comment more. I know that's one of the things that I kind of lacked on. So I do really appreciate the comments though. So this is a recent jazz vinyl finds. I don't know what number it is, but I'll just get into it with the first one, who I bought. I bought this from Some Jazz on Instagram, 1959 Some Jazz, something like that. I can't remember his handle, but I bought this from him. I think it's a VG to VG Plus copy. I think he labeled it VG, but it plays super clean. It's a MGM. I think it's a repress. So I'm really happy with that. Played that a couple times. Always see that thrash whenever I'm out digging, so figured I'd get that. The next one I got is Moonglow and Stardust. Not a common one by the Mal Waldron Trio. There are a few other ones on like reissues, I guess, or like different covers and all that sort of stuff, and then different colors of the label too. But this is one that I've seen up at Rainbow Records, upstate. I live in Delaware, so it's usually like an hour to get to a record store around me, and this is the one that I found up there that appealed to me most, so I grabbed this. Haven't got into it too much, but I listened to some of the tracks on Discogs, and I figured it was something that I'd be into, because I don't think it's on Spotify, although I'm not too sure. Next one is the Jerry Mulligan Quartet on World Pacific. Pretty clean. I got this for like $15 at an antique store, local antique store, like right down the road from me, so really glad I got that. And then in that same antique store, I also got the stereo copy of Night Lights. It's slightly warped, but, the crazy thing is that the lady that I bought these from knew how much they, were worth, but she sold the Jerry Mulligan to me for like $15 or $20, and then this one was like $25, $30, something like that. And she knew that this is like maybe like $100 album, but a lot of respect to her for doing that, because owning an antique store, you're not going to be into everything, so you can't really you're not really going to sell a record for what it's actually worth, because you're not, you don't specialize in records, you don't know much about them. So it was kind of cool that she went lower on the prices, and it was warped, so it happened to work out for me, because I didn't want to, spend big bucks on something that I wasn't, confident in buying, because she didn't have like a play test system or anything like that. So next one I got is the Opener by Curtis Fuller. Really glad I could pick this up. I got this from Rich DG Mono, who I want to kind of talk about too, because he just got an award for his work with the Rudy Van Gelder project that he had going on. And I was like really, really glad that he got that, because out of all the people who do like historic work in especially the jazz community, I think he was most rewarding of it, or he was most deserving of it. He needed that award. I'm really keen on seeing what else he's got in store. I listened to some of his podcasts and stuff, the Confessions, Record Collector Confessions, and he uploaded one with Donovan, who, if you watch my channel, you know Donovan. You also, if you do watch my channel, you also know Rich too as well. But they released a podcast in the past week. I can't remember what day it was on, but amazing podcast, really eye-opening. I'm like amazing friends with Donovan, probably like one of my best friends, although he's on the other side of the United States, so I haven't seen him in person or anything, but I've talked to him for hours on end, and just listening to that podcast is just so cool because I was learning more about him, even though like I've had FaceTime calls with him that lasted like 10 hours. So it was really neat to listen to that podcast, get an eye into him, and then also Rich too, because a lot of things kind of surprised me with Rich, like how he kind of got into 50s and 60s stuff. I remember him saying that he watched Mad Men, and that's one of my favorite shows. So I could kind of talk all about Rich and Donovan, but I'll kind of keep going with the records and maybe do a video with them, hopefully. But also I'll kind of talk more about them too in future videos. So the next one I got was from a yard sale. I got this for $1, and this was maybe 2 weeks before Brian Wilson died, and it's just perfect timing, like before the prices shot up. And it was really sad to hear that he passed. I mean, I grew up on Beach Boys, like going down to North Carolina, Myrtle Beach. We would listen to them, a lot of different playlists, but they all had Beach Boys in them, and it was like the greatest hits compilations, like tracks from those. So it was the good songs, but I never really got to listen to the entirety of like certain albums, like more specifically like Pet Sounds. But this is the one that I really wanted. I have a lot of other Beach Boys albums, compilations, reissues, but this is an original stereo. So I was really happy to grab this for $1, even though it's like VG to VG plus. It's not perfect. When I seen it, I was like, okay, it's like, it really shimmers in the light, and I was like, it's gotta be near mid, but it's about VG to VG plus. It's got some, not some hairlines, but maybe like, not like a deep mark, maybe something that would cause rotational ticks, but not for too long though, or anything like that. So next one I also got from a yard sale for $1. What Color Is Love by Terry Callier. I knew who Terry Callier was, but I never really got into his music. I knew this was like a really hard to find album, and I found this in a development yard sale in this lady's garage. She didn't even have records out or anything, and I just asked if she had records, and her husband was a DJ, and found this out in the garage, and then she invited me in so I could look at her husband's record collection since he had passed away and she was trying to get rid of him. And like just so much good stuff, like R&B. I kind of seen some signs that it would be like Blue Note stuff, but it didn't end up being Blue Note stuff. So I told her, if it was all right with her, I would take a couple albums. But then I told her that she could go to this one lady that I buy records from and sell her records to her since she was trying to get rid of them, because I kind of wanted to buy all of them, but I think she wanted a better price than I was offering her, which I think I offered her like $200 for her collection, but it wasn't anything crazy. It was just R&B stuff, like $1.50 stuff. So it was all right that she didn't accept my offer, but I got to help out somebody else who was always helping me out when I was coming up in the record stuff. So some more that I got from her was The Royal Scam, Steely Dan, Near Mint too. All the records I got from her were near mint. Countdown to Ecstasy, Steely Dan, and I did get some other records from her, but I don't think I put them all in this box. But I got Beastie Boys, like their most popular album. I can't even remember the name of it, but I'm not really into them, so it might be something that I sell down the road. But I got that from her, and I know that was kind of pretty expensive. So this is one that I got from Donovan. I bought like 3 or 4 records from him, and this is one that he gave to me for free. So I've really been enjoying this one because I don't have No Room for Squares. Like I don't even have the classic series or anything like that, but This is a UA, I think like a 71, 72 press, and it's pretty clean, despite the fact like the way it looks and stuff. I think it looks like it's VG, but it plays through like VG Plus in my opinion. So I was really happy that I finally got that, and I really appreciate that Donovan sent that to me too. So the next one I got from a yard sale, Link Ray and the Raymond. This is a pretty rare record. I think people know Link Ray is like the that one album that he released. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was in the 70s, maybe 69. I can't recall. But this is his early stuff, and it's on Epic. Not a great copy, like in terms of quality, but when I seen it, I also got it at the same yard sale as the Beach Boys one, and I got a few other kind of rare records like surfing, like beach records. So that was one of them that I picked up. So another one from Donovan that he gave to me for free as a gift for buying these other ones too was the Benny Golson Sextet, The Modern Touch. Really love this record, but like I like it for what's that one song that Hymn to the Orient by Gigi Grace. Clifford Brown did it on one of the 10 inches, and that one's my favorite version, but I think it's a really good take that he's got on here too, that Benny Golson did. So really happy to have this. It's about like VG Plus. It plays through really nice on my system. So these next couple, well, I kind of want to do them in order because I bought them all from Donovan. But first one I got from him was the Big Beat Black label, or Black Bee label. Super clean. So I picked that up from him. Didn't have a copy, and I wasn't about to get the classic series. Next one I got from him was Going Up by Freddie Hubbard. Also really clean, Black Bee. And then the biggest one, or maybe, I guess it depends on people's opinions, but the biggest one I got from him was the Bluesnik by Jackie McLean. I only have like 2 other Jackie McLean albums, and I think I got another one in here that I'm going to show. But this is a like second stereo press. It doesn't have a deep groove. 4067, which I think is the catalog number where they switched, where it didn't really matter about the deep groove, but I'm not too sure. Maybe that was a Kenny Drew album. I know that yeah, Kenny Drew is on this album, so maybe I'm just kind of getting mixed up with something. But no deep groove. It has the Plastilate P, and it's a stereo copy. So really glad that I could pick this up from him. And it's a really like clean. I think it's like VG Plus excellent. I put those in the same bracket. So the next one I got from him was Grandstand. Really wanted this for a while because I've been trying to like round out my Grant Green collection, and this is a Liberty mono, but it's got the original label, but it doesn't have the P, so it is a Liberty copy. Just it lacks the P, lacks the deep groove. If it had a deep groove, I can't really remember. It's 4086, and this was 4067, so I think it lacks the deep groove. But original jacket, not the cleanest jacket, but I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about the music. So really clean disc, and it's mono, so I can't really ask for much more. So really glad I could get those from Donovan. The next one I got was also from the same yard sale that I got the Terry Callier from. They got this for $1 from her too. It's hard to find this clean, so I figured I'd grab it. Then I got these few from another record store upstate, Good Boy Vinyl. West Coast Blues Harold Land. I didn't realize how hard this was to get. This is a first press stereo, or actually, it's a mono actually. I guess I thought it was a stereo. I've listened to this once after I cleaned it, but I definitely kind of want to listen to it more. Really clean jacket, and also really clean disc too as well. So really happy with this. Next one I got from up there is Arthur Blythe, The Grip, which I didn't know anything about until I seen it, but it looked interesting, and I seen that it was on India Navigation, so I was like, I gotta grab that and just see what it's like. I think I tested it in the store, or I looked at it on Discogs and listened to some tracks, but it definitely seemed like something I'd be into. I listened to it once since I've gotten it, and I really do like it. Next one I got is not the pressing that I wanted to get of it, because I wanted the Japanese pressing, but John Faddis and Billy Harper really love this album. And I didn't really know the names of the tracks because I seen that they were in Japanese when I was listening to them. So I don't know. I think Water Bridge is probably the best one. Maybe that's the one that I was like streaming a lot. But this is the Black Hawk Records press. So like I think it's like 84, something like that. Maybe 74. I guess I didn't realize. But I still think it's probably newer than that. But really glad I could get this, because that was definitely like one of my favorite albums, like in terms of streaming. So next one I got from the same shop is another pressing of Live at the Lighthouse, Lee Morgan. I have a West Coast press, which is like the lighter blue on the right side, I think, and then the black label. But this is the Black B pressing. And it's super clean too. My other pressing had like a skip that I ended up fixing, but you can hear like the clicks throughout it after I fixed it. So I was like, it was a record that I didn't really like enjoy it, because I would listen to it and I'd be like, oh, I just wanted that record in perfect condition. So maybe I'll end up down the road getting I think the 6 LP box set, but I know that's pretty expensive. So the next one I got is the Jackie McLean Quintet. I can't remember the name, like the original name of this, because this is a reissue, but one of the rarest Jackie McLean records. Not this pressing, but the original of it. I think it goes for like over two grand, but this I got for $10, and I think this pressing usually goes for like 40. So I was like, that's a pretty good deal, so I grabbed that. And then I also got Gil Evans and 10 at Extended Play, which is in Lower Delaware near the beach. So I grabbed that once I seen it. And this is also like VG Plus. I think somebody that was on here that kind of surprised me: Steve Lacy, Paul Chambers, Joe Jones. It's like a bunch of different people, which Gil Evans usually tends to have, because it's like more of like a bigger band setup. That's an original. I think it had a different cover on the reissue, but I can't really remember. So these next couple albums I got for a deal from one specific record store. I really don't want to highlight the record store, just because I'm gonna go back in hopes of getting more stuff. And they gave me a lot of great deals, and I'm really appreciative of what they did for me and everything. But I'll start out with the first one, which is Body and Soul by Billie Holiday. MGM press, so not an original. So I was really glad to grab this. But the next string of albums I got from them, and I really can't say how much I appreciate it, and then also like how glad I am to finally have these in my collection, because it's something that I never would have imagined that I would get. And I guess I'll kind of go in order of like most surprising. So original, Informal Jazz, Elmo Hope Sextet, 44-6 West 50th Street, New York City. Super clean copy, clean disc. I mean, it looks like it was barely played. I don't know if you can see the shimmer, the gloss, but the jacket has some issues, just some kind of foxing and aging. But besides that, it's like, this is like the dream copy for me, because I have, of course, their Analog Productions reissue, but I never thought that I would get the original of this, especially because how rare it is. But then it's Coltrane, so you're never gonna find original Coltrane stuff, even though I've completed my Coltrane discography. But this is one that I grabbed the reissue for to complete, but now I have the original, so I really just can't, I really have no words to express how glad I am to finally have that one. So the next two, also maybe in a higher tier, I think, but I got 7106, comes right after 7105, Coltrane album that he put out on Prestige, his first as a leader. But this is For Lady, and original copy, near mint, maybe VG++, just in that bracket. But I really just cannot express how happy I am to have these. I got all these in the same day. and I really just don't even know what to say, because this album is just ridiculous, like ridiculously hard to find, especially in this condition. I always knew about this album, but I never ever thought that I would get it. I love Billie Holiday, and I love Mal Waldron, and I got the Mal Waldron album that he did on Bethlehem with the Left Alone track with Jackie McLean, and that's like one of my favorite albums. And I got like the '72 Bethlehem US pressing after I had the Japanese pressing. So getting something like this just kind of, it's just crazy. I love Mal Waldron and Billie Holiday, so to have something like that is just kind of ridiculous. So next one I got is Sounding Off by Dizzy Reece, another one that I never expected I would have. This is an original 47 West 63rd Street press, and it's also near mint in the shrink. I feel like I'm just kind of at a loss for words for the last two that I've shown, and I think last year I didn't really have a great year in terms of like grabs. I mean, I did have a lot of great grabs, but nothing like I had in like 2021, which is when I got my two original Hank Mobleys. But this is kind of this might actually be better than getting those original Mobleys, because never ever did I think I'd get For Lady, and then also something like an original Dizzy Reece album. And not that I've like listened to these a lot before, or like knew that I was gonna kind of aim for them, but the fact that they just kind of came to me, and the way that they did as well, because I took my cousins crabbing. We recently got a boat to go crabbing, and it wasn't fixed, and it's honestly it's got a string of issues going on with it. So I'm probably gonna go to this record store next week too, because I took my cousins crabbing on their kayaks, and then I'll come back and pick them up. So I took them out at like 2 o'clock in the morning, sat and slept in the parking lot until like 9 o'clock, and then I was like, okay, they're still crabbing. So while I was waiting for them, I went to one of the closest record stores, and I got this. So just a ridiculous experience. And the people that I met there too, I was talking to them for like an hour, and I was like, I gotta get back to pick my cousins up. So I made the deal with them on these, and then I picked my cousins up. And it was a really hot day, so I had the truck running the rest of the time, because I did not want these to warp, and they did not. So I'm really happy that it worked out for me. And I really just have nothing else. Like, I just can't come up with the words to say how glad I am, how grateful I am to have these. So while these aren't all the albums that I picked up, then since my last recent jazz vinyl finds, I've picked up a lot of collections, a lot of different things that I got a list, but also like classic rock stuff. So I could have just done like a 2-hour long video, which I'm not gonna do. So that's probably the best of the best that I got since my last video. So like I said, I want to do some more videos, maybe talking about the tinnitus stuff, and then also I want to reattempt the Coltrane discography, because I collected everything, made the spreadsheet, like bootlegs and all, but when I recorded that video, I was really tired in the morning, and I think the night before I was trying to do it and I just couldn't do it, so I did it the next morning. I don't know why I did it that way, but I sounded like crap, looked like crap. And I think I'm gonna try and redo it, and then also add to it as well, because there's a lot of other CD releases that came out since I did my attempt. So if everybody wants to kind of look out for that, it'll probably be within the next month or two, I'd say. At least a video in general would be in the next month or two. So I really appreciate everybody watching this video if you made it to the end. So thank you.